Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I thought it'd be fun to look at this watercolor set that I found off of Amazon while I was looking for supplies. Now when I bought this, I think almost a week ago, there was no like reviews or anything, like no information really about this set that I've seen, but I believe a couple of days ago Makotino, who is another art YouTuber, and I'll leave her video in the description, but she did a bunch of, I think, reviews on watercolors that were below $25, and this was one of them. So I thought I would do kind of like a first impressions and do a little illustrations showing how, I guess, well these work, or kind of the end result of what the colors would look like after mixing or being on an illustration. So this watercolor set, it's from the brand Superior, I believe. It's a Chinese brand, and I've actually never seen really anyone use this. Now this is going to be quite new for me because I actually don't use water brushes. I find it difficult because it's pretty much always dispensing water, and I like to use like wet brushes and then a dry brush, so it's going to be a little bit different. So this set comes with a water brush, and it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kind of swivel trays full of paint. It has a tray on the bottom for your mixing colors and then a sponge on top. So I'll just quickly open this for you guys to see what I'm talking about. I'm actually excited to use this. I think it's kind of a cute kind of travel set that you could definitely use. So here's the brush, just a water brush, kind of like a decent size tip of the brush. It's a little bit big compared to what I usually use. It might be like maybe a size 8. Looks maybe a size 8. I'm usually using a size 5, so yeah. We'll see what the tip looks like after it's actually wet. So here's the sponge. And then the thing about these paints is that the tray is actually super thin. I don't know if you guys can see that, how thin it is. Like, here's a mechanical pencil in reference. So these trays are very shallow, and they also have the color swatches on the bottom corresponding to the colors. So you have white, black, and yellow, a deeper yellow, or 2 reds, a green. Here it looks like we have a dark green, a kind of ultramarine color, maybe like a Prussian blue or like an indigo, yellow ochre, and a brown. Here are our, let's see, kind of wearing more like pinks and skin tones. So we got a kind of like a beige, a peach, a bright pink, purple, and 2 kind of like reddish pink colors. Or in here, I guess it looks like they're purple. I don't know how accurate these swatches are, so I will do some swatching off screen and show you guys. The last tray for colors are the purples and blues and a few greens right here. It doesn't seem like this comes with a lot of like really deep colors, except for this tray. So it'll be interesting seeing how well the colors actually mix together. So what I've seen on Amazon is that they have this set which has 25 colors, and then they have another set which has, I'm not sure if it's like 18 or 24 or something like that. It's definitely smaller than the amount they have here, but it's a pastel set. And I was kind of torn between getting which one that I would want to use for the video, but I decided to get this set, which is the tropical set, I believe. On the bottom, it comes with another swivel part, and it has a mixing tray, which is very small, but it's definitely nice that they include that. So I'm gonna do some swatches off screen. I'll come back, but I'll first show you guys that I'm gonna be drawing Midoriya from Boku no Hero Academia. I kind of wanted to just do some simple fan art today. I didn't really want to draw anybody from 17 today because I have to do a lot of that a little bit later. So I thought I'd just draw somebody from Boku no Hero. So I'm gonna draw Midoriya first, and then, or I drew him right now. I'm gonna transfer him to watercolor paper, and then we can get started with just using this set. If I get too frustrated, I will switch to my normal brush because I think that'll give you guys a better indication of how well this set would be used by somebody who actually kind of frequently use this watercolor for like illustration and portraiture. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit after I swatch all of these and transfer this to watercolor paper. Okay, so I got the swatches done. Some of them are still drying, and I have the sketch all transferred. So if you follow me on my Instagram, you would have saw that I've been kind of playing around with doing some inkless line art. So I'm usually now doing some of my larger chibis in just pure watercolor and a little bit pencil. So I'm leaving my pencil lines in, and I'm going to be painting on top of the whole thing and doing the outlines in a darker watercolor of like that matches. You guys will see what I mean, hopefully, if it works out well for this one. I just want to kind of pull back a little bit from using, I guess like being too relying, what am I even saying? I don't want to be relying on inking and line art too much when I'm doing illustrations and stuff. I found that I've been quite lazy when I do that, because I would just quickly block in colors out there because like the line art was enough to describe what stuff looks like. So I find that I'm a little bit more thoughtful replacing my shadows and, I don't know, becoming a little bit more detailed with using the watercolor when I have no like specific defining outline. So for the watercolor itself, I actually find that a lot of these the colors are actually very pigmented. There's some that look a little bit chalky, but I think none of them would be actually like very like super opaque. There's a few, maybe the pastel colors, maybe the black. Well, black would be hard to tell, but they would definitely, it seems like they're a little bit more, they have a little bit more fillers in it, so they become a little bit chalkier. So about the watercolor setup, like the layout, what I find interesting is that you can definitely mix and match how you want to set your palette up, which is kind of nice. One thing I don't like is that it is hard to have all your paints like laid out at once. Right now I have one tray hiding right here because I'm not really going to touch these color. Maybe I might use these, like this lemon yellow, but I usually don't use black or white when I do watercolor. And then like this thing doesn't fully swivel like all the way to the side, so it's hard to have access to like the trays on the top. Activating the watercolor, like the pans itself, is actually, like, it was fairly okay. Some required a little bit more water and a little bit of waiting, but it was pretty good. But yeah, this is actually, I find, a very nice set so far. As for the water brush, I did test out using the water brush a little bit. I'm definitely not a fan of it still. I find this water brush actually pretty good. I've used a lot of knockoff watercolor brushes, and this one doesn't leak, which is a plus. So if you guys want to get a good water brush with a paint set, I do recommend this. The sponge works well. And the mixing tray, I'm going to be actually using one of my other mixing trays here to mix colors along with this one, because this is just not enough space for myself. But I'm taking into consideration, but I think this is supposed to be like a condensed travel set. So yeah, to give this more of an accurate representation of how well the paints are going to be used, I am going to be using my most used brushes, which is these 000 for fine lines, and then I have a script brush in size 8 and my number 5 brush. Previously I said that that brush is, I thought it was like maybe a size 8, but I think it's about maybe size 6, so it's actually not too big. But yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly zoom in on the sketch and then we can just get started. here's the final result of the painting. Overall, I actually really do like this palette. It's just strange the way how they have it lined out or laid out, and I find like these swatches are helpful, but also like they kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I don't like how they're not able to swivel like all the way around. The good thing about this is that the palette part where you can mix your colors actually swings like all the way to half, which is nice, beyond half I guess, which is nice because then you have more room to lay out your colors and have your palette exposed. So that's kind of my only, actually there's one more problem that I have with this palette, is the fact that if you don't let your paints dry and they're not entirely flat, you do get some residue on the back like this. So this is where that cream colored was, and because I kind of, when I was painting, I kind of built up the color and like some of it was sticking out, so when I folded the palette back in, it kind of like scraped the top, which is kind of sad because then you lose a little bit of paint and it's a little bit messy. But overall, I actually really do like this watercolor palette. The colors are actually quite vibrant. As you can see, I still get quite nice results even compared to like how I would do my Holbein chibis. So like here, these are my Holbeins, and this one's also done with my Holbeins. So you can still get really vibrant colors, and like you can mix really dark colors. There's some colors that are a little bit harder to use, but overall I find this palette very good, and it's on the cheaper side. So if you don't have a lot of money to spend on watercolors, this would come with pretty much almost like everything.